Hello from occupied New York City. Today is September 16th, 2012, otherwise known as S16, and we are Truth to Power News, representing Occupy Portland and working in conjunction with B Media Collective to bring you the news from the streets. Today is the second day of actions and events being held to commemorate the one-year anniversary of Occupy Wall Street and the Occupy movement at large. Each day of this weekend has been designated by a specific theme. Yesterday, we brought you the coverage of the masses engaging in a day of education, and right now we're gearing up for tomorrow's actions of resistance. But today was all about the celebration. The day began with a rally and march against the Spectre pipeline that kicked off in Midtown and made its way towards the afternoon celebrations downtown. Hundreds gathered to call attention to the project and the havoc it will wreak on our environment and the potentially affected communities that surround the project. The march highlighted the corporate greed that fuels such projects and the mass complicity that allows them to be carried out. It also tied in with the theme of the weekend, that all roads of oppression, injustice, and corruption inevitably lead to Wall Street and corporate greed. Several arrests were made as the NYPD continued to flex its supposed muscle to intimidate those that might otherwise engage in the civil disobedience actions planned for the next day. After the march, people began to gather at Foley Square for a 7-hour celebration, complete with an open space to gather, make connections, and revel in the sweet simplicity of a movement too big to fail. Throughout the park, affinity groups and individuals met, shared information, distributed zines, and other educational material, as the main stage boasted acts by Rebel Diaz, Tom Morello, and others, all the while emceed by Jello Biafra. The police presence was predictably overwhelming, especially in relation to the nonviolent, joyous nature of the event. But their presence didn't seem to deter anyone from celebrating their accomplishments of the last year with any less fervor than they would have otherwise. During the march, Chops and I joined in a walking tour of the financial district, intended to orient visiting organizers to the maze-like area that will be targeted for action during the day of resistance. It was incredibly helpful for us and was supplemented by a comprehensive map that detailed all of the proposed actions. We learned a lot about the history of the area, and especially about just how long it has been a symbol of economic and social injustice for our country and the world. We got the opportunity to speak to one of the creators of the freshly released Debt Manual, a guide for the 99% to understand the debt that cripples us in our day-to-day lives and how we can work together to resist and overcome its oppressive power. Before we left Portland, we reached out to a number of Occupy Wall Street organizers, and in doing so, made many fruitful connections that have continued to serve us throughout our time here. We reap the benefits of these newly formed friendships today as we gained access to the performing artists area near the main stage, just in time to catch up with former Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello and former Dead Kennedys frontman Jello Biafra. After interviewing two of our childhood heroes, we headed to the Affinity Group Spokes Council, a meeting held to prepare all of the congregated participants for tomorrow's day of resistance. We were once again impressed by the level of organization displayed by Occupy Wall Street, and we learned about all the different contingency plans for the day and how to regroup in case things go awry. Before heading home, we stopped by the Global Rev headquarters, an impressive media space tucked into the Lower East Side of Manhattan and home to several wonderful groups, including the League of War Resistors and Paper Tiger TV. The enthusiasm of the proponents of those projects was the icing on the cake to end our day of celebration. With the knowledge that a network of information is underway that will ultimately unite our struggles, our plights, and our fights worldwide. We arrived home, our bodies weary, but them hearts full, of inspiration and anticipation for tomorrow's actions and the momentous day marking our young movement's first year of existence. From the streets of New York City, bringing you the real stories of struggle and triumph, we are Truth to Power News. Until tomorrow, friends, we'll see you in the streets.